since the Biden administration, there's been an attempt to make a far more sophisticated China policy. So I think when the Biden team comes in, they are clear that they don't want to break off ties with China. They want this competition to be channeled in a direction where the United States reserves the right to compete where it wants and cooperate where it wants. So that was their preference. Now, when the Chinese looked at this, part of them said, okay, we've got an opportunity to reopen economic ties, damp down some of the hard export controls and technology controls, or what Sullivan calls it, like a small yard and a high fence, which was very restricted and leaving the rest of this economic interdependence to grow. But I think what the Chinese also were concerned about is because Trump, after all, was not really concerned with a Cold War with China. He was looking out for national interests of the United States. Mm-hmm. What the neocons and who are very much part of this administration, let's face it, wanted a very sophisticated grand strategy around Eurasia. Russia was, of course, their primary target. We've seen the Ukraine crisis. And I think China was always a part of putting pressure on Russia to get the Chinese to submit to their terms. So I'm just trying to give you the geopolitical. So what happens is when Ukraine war unfolds, you see the Biden team reaching out to China to, in a sense, make it non-aligned on that conflict. This was in 2022 spring. That doesn't really work. The Chinese, of course, and we know from their own internal analysis and publications that they feared they'd be next if Russia loses.
Absolutely.
So, ironically, the Chinese, the Indians, and the global South, nobody wanted Russia to fail.